Hello there. Today we're going to look at You Give Me Something by James Morrison. I really like this song because it's got some amazing harmony that really effectively supports the melody. It is just a perfectly written song. This song is in the key of C major, but it starts off really weirdly. So we begin with a A-flat major 7 chord. I like to play an F Dorian chord, but you can get away with just playing an F minor 7 if you like, to the C. So that would go flat major 6 to a minor 4 to the 1. So these are modal interchange chords borrowed from C minor. That's the 6th chord of C minor, the 4 chord of C minor, finishing on the 1 chord. This would sound like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... The vocals coming in on that C chord. After the vocals start on the last C of the intro, we fall onto a G sus4 chord. And we hold that for 3 beats before coming down into this B. Then we get to the F chord, we can play it like that, up to a G7 chord, which we hold for 2.5 beats before coming on the AND of 3 with these sixths on the 4, then to the A minor. Then we land on the C for a beat and a half, and then there's a tricky little filler lick that comes after there. So that would sound like 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... Once we finish that lick, we come down on the F chord again, which rises to the G7, which has that same 3 and 4 and rising 6th run, landing on the A minor for a whole bar, down to a C over G. So I like to play this with my thumb, but you could play it with your first finger. Then we have the 6th lick going backwards, so and 4 and. Then we come into the part that goes into the chorus. F, D over F sharp, G, F over G. The first verse would sound like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... The chorus, I like to start off on an E minor 7 like this. I really like to emphasize the low E, just coming from this G over F chord. The voice leading is pretty good to go. Makes it a bit more effective on the guitar. Then we come to an A minor 7 chord, or you can play it with your fingers, to a D minor 7, to a G, dropping down to a G7, or like... And this time I'll play the E minor 7, focusing on the top E there, because I just did with the F, falling down to the E. Then it repeats. G, G7, last time. And then on this time, we hold the G, we don't change to a G7. Then it jumps up to that A flat major 7 from the intro. To the F minor 7 / F Dorian, finishing on the C. That would sound like... like this chorus progression because it's pretty simple. They're all just chords in G, but the entry and exit points are really interesting. So when we're coming out of the verse, we have this G7 chord effectively, which seems to resolve to this 3 minor chord. But the way we could look at this E minor 7 is a really complicated C chord, just in first inversion. Like the voice leading coming from this F down to an E, it's a bit like a weird C chord. And then when we leave the chorus, it's a neighbour dominant chord, or an unexpected resolution in C minor. G, 5 chord, to A flat major 7, 6 chord. The second verse is essentially the same as the first verse, but the guitar has a bit more embellishments in it. So we start off on the C chord, then we go to a G chord, G7, and then on the and of 3, we start this little run here, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and we're basically outlining an F in first inversion. Then we use the same lick to do the G chord, 1 and 2 and. Then we have a tricky little bit in here, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. This would sound like 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Then we fall on the A minor, down to the C over G, and 4 and F. Now we have the tricky lick from earlier, this time on an F major in first inversion. That would sound 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Then we have a G with a new lick, starting on the 3, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Followed by an A minor 7, which is basically just arpeggiated, but I've notated it anyway. That would be 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Then we have the C over G in a slightly different voicing. And now we have the tricky part from the verse, just up the octave. So that would be 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Then we have the part that goes into the chorus using the same picking pattern as the A minor 7 chord. Starts on the F, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, going to the D over F sharp, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, up to the G, where we're doing something just a little bit different, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, down to the G over F. The second verse is going to be really difficult for me to get while counting, so I'm just going to play it. Then we have another chorus, which is essentially the same, except the last chord, now we have the low F in the bass. Then we come up to the bridge, which is not close, my favourite part of the song. It starts off on an E flat major 7, then on the and a 2 we go to a D minor 7, and then on the and of 4 we come to this G. Then in the next bar we have an F sus4 chord on the 3rd beat, resolving down to an F on the 4th beat, then coming to a C in the next bar. Then we come back up to the E flat major 7, 2 and 3, and on the and of before we change to a B flat major 7. And then from that B flat major 7 we go back into the chorus. That would sound like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now I don't entirely understand what's happening here in the bridge, but it starts off on an E flat major 7, which is a modal interchange chord taken from C minor to a minor 2, 5. Then when we get to the F, things start getting pretty spicy. Looks like a 4-1 resolution into C, but I think they've borrowed this B flat from C minor. What you might expect going 2, 5 is maybe a minor 4 onto a minor 1, but we're kind of being set up for major, major. Then we come up onto the E flat major 7 again, which I think has now pivoted into E flat major because the next chord is a B flat major 7, which then goes to an E minor, which is a really out there change from B flat major to E minor. What I think is kind of happening is this minor 2 up to minor 3 progression, but we've done something spicy with the bass note. See, these both sound very similar, because I'm mostly using the same notes. After the bridge, it's basically just choruses until the end, where we have the return of the intro progression. So that would be starting on the A flat major 7 again, to the F Dorian, to the C, with a little run, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, finishing on that C chord. Chances are, if you made it this far through the video, you found it somewhat useful. If this is the case, could you please consider subscribing to my channel, or maybe leave a like or comment your favourite part about the song we just covered. If you like live performance videos as well, I upload videos to a channel called Trillissic Studios. You should be able to find a link around my head somewhere.